edition of the AFA show for everybody out there right now. SCOTUS has issued a major victory for the individual right to keep and bear arms in a public place. We have all the details right now live. We have a special guest here with Chris Dorr, who was at the Capitol today and walked outside, giving us a live report in front of the Supreme Court. Chris, I know we were looking for a Roe v. Wade decision today as well. There was mobs of people around you earlier. It was out of control. Looked like chaos. It seems to have calmed down a little bit now. But where are we right now? The crowd is just beginning to get signed in here. Guys, before we kick off here, let us know where you're watching from. I see Steve Reed beginning to comment.
My man.
To pop here, Chris. Give it a couple more seconds. But, Chris, I know the crowd was insane earlier. In light of the Roe v. Wade and pending decision, things have calmed down now. What's the status on the ground?
Well, I think, a lot of gun owners are very used to Bloomberg's red shirt radical line commie mommy brigades getting bussed in from all over the state or all over the country. Just a couple hours ago, all the pro-aborts were out here howling at their screams to be able to do what they want to do and kill these little babies. But I'm pro-life. But just a couple of hours ago, this decision broke, and very quickly the radical lefties that were out here scurried away. Of course, there's fake news media all over the place that are covering this around the clock. They're absolutely incensed with rage about the fact that this is going to directly affect a lot of these people in some of these very communist states, and put them in a position to be able to carry a firearm again. I was talking with one gun owner just a couple of minutes ago, right out in front of the U.S. Senate, where we were confronting some of these U.S. senators, these traitors that are voting against our gun rights. And I was talking to him. And he's like, man, if I understand this correctly, there's a couple million gun owners that are now going to be able to go and get their licenses because of this ruling. So a lot of enthusiasm amongst the very few gun owners who are here right now, especially since all the paid protesters for the abortion stuff have all jumped onto their buses and skedaddled back to wherever they came from. Of course, there's all these lefties that are staring at me like I'm an alien. No, just an American. That's all.
They just
an American who loves
freedom.
freedom.
That's all it is. They just like the beard. Well, let's break down some of the details of what this actually means. First of all, today was a 6-3 decision. The three who were opposed, Justice Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan. The other 6 all on board. Even Roberts, which the guy almost gets everything wrong. Even Roberts was on the right side of this. But everyone knows the D.C. Heller decision from 2008. And what D.C. Heller did was say we have an individual right to keep and bear arms, but they limited that to your property, your private property, your home, your business, that kind of thing. What they did not do was say you have a right to carry it outside of your personal property. The landmark decision today covers a couple things. Number one, you now have a right. I mean, we've always had the right. Let's be clear on this. We've always had the right because the right comes from God. But now the Supreme Court has acknowledged what God has already given us, that the right to carry a firearm in public places to defend ourselves, our loved ones, our families, our neighbors, and everybody else in a public place. They have removed the prior limitation that you have to carry only or possess only on your own property. This is a massive victory in and of itself. But then, Chris, as we discussed a few minutes ago, the other huge aspect of this is they have obliterated blue states' ability to force you to show a special need, a special cause to get a permit to carry a firearm, because that was the heart and soul of this issue, was New York State's communist requirement that you have to show a special need. And it's the New York State Patrol who gets to decide if that need is special enough or not. And this decision obliterated that forever. And so there is no special need. The special need is you're a by God American citizen with a God-given right to keep and bear arms, period. Landmark decision today.
Exactly. So I think the states that are going to be affected by this the most, obviously New York, California, Hawaii, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island. even right here in the occupied territory of Washington, D.C., there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be able to go out and finally be able to carry a firearm to defend themselves after this thing gets done. And Aaron, I love what you said just a second ago there. This isn't the Supreme Court conferring these rights to we the people. This is the Supreme Court affirming that we were given these rights by our Creator, God, which is what we firmly believe here at the American Firearms Association. So fantastic stuff.
The other aspect of this then is a crystal clear framework given by Justice Clarence Thomas on future attempts by state or federal governments to restrict your right to keep and bear arms. I'm going to read a section here directly from the ruling. It says, we reiterate the standard for applying the Second Amendment is as follows. When the Second Amendment's plain text covers an individual's conduct, the Constitution presumptively protects that conduct. The government must then justify its regulation by demonstrating it's consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearms regulation. So from now on, little tyrants in places like Albany, New York, or places like Springfield, Illinois, or Massachusetts, all the rest of the states you mentioned, Chris, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Hawaii, California, Maryland, DC. They have to show from now on that their proposed regulation is in keeping with these decisions. And if it's not, it's going to be kicked out in court, and it's going to be a matter of a short period of time, not a 10-year ride like this decision was in New York State. It's an excellent decision. Thank God for Clarence Thomas and that he wrote the majority opinion here. It's a huge.
I think it's. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Clarence Thomas's birthday today.
I'll check.
Patrick, can you look that up?
Checking right now.
It's Clarence Thomas's birthday today, and I've seen those pictures of him. Yep, hold on, we got a District of Communism police officer going back past this. But you see those pictures of Clarence Thomas all over the place with that huge grin on his face. You know that today had to be one of the best days of his entire judicial career to be able to author the majority opinion like this. What a fantastic thing for America. What a fantastic thing for him. And of course, this is the guy that the left originally tried to drag through the mud in the first place, all the Anita Hill crap. For him to be able to sit here and preside over this decision, fantastic for him, fantastic for America. Great day to celebrate.
It's the Clarence Thomas birthday present to America today instead of the other way around. And,
yes.
We're very happy to celebrate it with you, Justice Thomas. I mean, this has been a long time coming. The initial permit denial in New York State was 2014. So we're looking at an 8-year fight to get this struck down. And as we always say, our rights don't come from the courts. Our rights are not, they don't start from or originate with the courts, but by goodness, we'll take the protection, we'll take the win when it comes along, because it's been a rough 18 months. And what all of these little commies now behind you in the U.S. Capitol, I guess that's in front of you right now. You're at the SCOTUS right now. All these little commies, there you go, at the Capitol behind you, both in D.C. and every state legislature across America, they now have a real problem on their hands. Because the court has said that you have an individual right to keep and bear arms. That was D.C. Heller. Now they said you have a right to carry those firearms on public property. And they also said that there is no more ability for the states to put a special needs provision on gun owners who seek to carry a firearm. I mean, it's just a huge, huge victory. What was cool to me, Chris, was reading this decision. It's 165. Let me see here. Yeah, it's a 135-page long decision. I've got through most of it.
Wow.
But they mentioned...
you're ahead of me then, because I haven't had a chance to be able to go through it and dissect it.
They're talking about how there's 6 states plus D.C. that have these current regulations in place. They have all the rest of these states, which are, shall issue states. And then it says in a footnote, of course, we can't forget that 25 states in America now are considered constitutional carry states, where they already have the right. And it supersedes any permitting process whatsoever. And just, for AFA's state level affiliates across America, for the victories that AFA members and our state level affiliates have wrought over the last couple of years to see that in these decisions. It's just fantastic stuff. Ohio
Exactly.
this year joined the Constitutional Carry Club. Georgia joined the Constitutional Carry Club. Last year was Iowa. I mean, it's just been a lot of victories at the state level. This only helps to solidify those going forward.
And we talk about that all the time, like Iowa gun owners members, Ohio gun owners members, Georgia gun owners. I mean, we always talk about this stuff with everybody, how all of this stuff is connected together. Nothing happens in a vacuum. What happens in one state affects another state. I mean, my gosh, how many times have we been beaten over the head with freaking Florida and Indiana, these Republican states that have passed red flag laws. But look what's happening right here. We worked hard. Ohio gun owners worked hard. Georgia, Iowa, Wyoming, all these states where we've passed it all the way into law. And now, folks, you get to reap the rewards of this. Gun owners in Hawaii get to reap the rewards of this because now the hard work that we've done at the states to get these massive expansions of gun rights on the books, well, they're forced to interact with it here with the majority opinion as they struck down the restrictions in New York. So it's fantastic. It's such a huge win for gun owners on a day when the U.S. Senate freaking Republican traitorous bastards over there are delivering victories for the gun control communist Democrats. For the court to finally come out with a massive win, what a huge thing for gun owners. What a total what an upside down world that we're living in right now.
Well, and what's so amazing about this too, and what's so enjoyable, if you're watching right now, most Americans on our pages, you guys are at work, you're busy, but when you get time, just take 15 minutes and scroll social media, scroll Google to watch the left lose their effing minds right now is absolutely an enjoyable experience. Joe Biden is losing his mind. Kathy Hochul, that commie bee in New York State, is losing her mind. The entire leftist machine right now is freaking out. I was doing a New York Times interview, Chris, just a half an hour ago, and they just they're freaking out that Americans have more freedoms now, more rights to keep and bear arms. Of course, they've always lost their minds at any expansion of freedom, whether it was shall issue, that fight back in our early days in 2009, 10, and 11, whether it's been constitutional carry, stand your ground law. These people are bitter, angry, commie bastards who want all of us disarmed, helpless, and hopeless against an all-powerful government. These kind of victories, it sends them into meltdown mode. It's been a pleasure to watch that over the last few minutes here before we went live.
Just a little while ago, we were over in front of the U.S. Senate side. We were talking to some of these Republicans that are selling us out. But a couple people that I saw that I didn't get a chance to go over and talk to was crazy Bernie Sanders. He came out. Hickenlooper from Colorado. Some of these Democrat nut jobs were walking around. They've got to be going out of their mind right now at this stuff. They've all been very protective of their gun control bills and gun control laws in their respective states. And for something like this to come out now, huge win for gun owners. And some idiot in the comments section just a couple of minutes ago said this is a victory courtesy of the NRA, who you guys were bashing. Get the hell out of here. That's the stupidest thing I've heard all day.
We'll have more on that later on.
All these NRA A-rated U.S. senators are the ones screwing us in the back right now. So get the hell out of here. We don't need you around.
And guys, we're going to have a major update later on tonight on what's happening as we speak right now in the United States Senate. Right now, this video here is on the SCOTUS decision. But, there's massive carryover here, Chris, because one of the things in the gun control bill in debate right now in the Senate is a waiting period on Americans age 18 through 20 on buying guns. And the court has ruled repeatedly, not even the SCOTUS, just like other federal courts have ruled, that putting arbitrary waiting periods or arbitrary bans on buying guns prior to age 21 is absolutely unconstitutional. So we don't know yet what's going to happen in D.C. We don't know what the final version of this bill would be. We're not sure it's going to pass. We don't know if it's going to be a big loss here or not. But if it does go that way, if we do have a defeat with this federal gun control push aided by the NRA and Rhino Republicans, the court is gearing up for a fight right now on this, and this will be pushed in court. This will be challenged in court, and these arbitrary waiting periods on 20-year-old American men and women, says you can't buy a gun because you're not old enough, even though you're a 20-year-old adult. These things will be challenged in court, and based on what we're seeing today, Chris, and in previous decisions at lower courts, these will be struck down. That's our fervent hope.
Yeah. And don't forget, if you're watching this in some of the first line of defense states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Iowa, Minnesota, Missouri, all these very important states, when they pass this federal red flag law that provides funding to the states, the first line of defense is going to be the state level gun rights organizations like Ohio Gun Owners, Pennsylvania Firearms Association, all these groups that you're watching on right now. They're going to go to freaking war against that stuff to make sure that if the Republicans try to pass it, if they get suckered in, snookered in by the money from the feds, that they have to pay for every single inch. So, that's why we focus at the state level a lot. It's like a target rich environment. There's all these places where we can fight and fight back successfully. And that's happening right here, right now, today.
And that's a part of the reason why we're not seeing more betrayal, frankly, amongst the Republicans in DC, because what you saw happen in Ohio in 2018, when Ohio gun owners crushed red flag laws in Columbus, that sent a loud message across the country that gun owners will attack Republicans who betray them with red flag laws.
Exactly.
We saw it happen in Iowa. The House Majority Leader, Matt Winchell, on Iowa Press, trying to find bipartisan support for red flag laws. And it was Iowa gun owners who crushed him with pressure. Now they've backed off. So these state level victories, if you're watching right now, one of our state level affiliates across America, the state level victories that these state groups have earned by hard work and daring and tenacity, these have ramifications far above just our own states. So, never get tired of fighting. Fight hard, because these wins create momentum, and by goodness, we need that momentum right now. Yep.
Well, Aaron, we got a few more meetings and stuff that we got to get to over here on the House side yet, and I see there's still senators coming and going on the Senate side, so we're gonna go over there and try to keep talking with.
Keep on going. I'm gonna cut you off the feed, Chris, then, and continue here on my own.
Thanks a lot, guys. Keep fighting. Go to joinafa.org, sign up, and become a member today, and we really appreciate it. We'll be back with more.
You bet. Let me cut Chris out of here. All right, guys, kind of a preview of what's going to happen here later on this afternoon sometime. We just had a cloture vote in the United States Senate on the massive NRA-backed, Rhino-supported, massive gun control bill on the Senate floor. The cloture vote is the vote to put the bill on the floor for a final vote, and that might take place on Friday, as early as Friday yet this week. But there might be some delays. We're not sure yet what's going to happen. But later on this afternoon or this evening, we're still trying to figure out the details. We're going to have a video report for all of our supporters across the country on what's happening right now with this bill. We have a list of the Republicans who voted yes on cloture just in the last, or are still voting yes on cloture just right now in the United States Senate. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what's happening with this legislation and where the status of that is. A lot of people are saying, hey, I've joined up with AFA and I haven't got my shirt. I'll just be honest, guys. Man, it's a busy time right now. Our team is working overtime to get that stuff out to you. Give us a little bit of patience. There's just so much happening right now in D.C. There's a lot going on. We'll have these out to you guys as soon as our team get these all done. But again, major decision from the Supreme Court today on your individual right to keep and bear arms off of your own private property. You have a God-given right, and now the Constitution has been reaffirmed by the Supreme Court, saying you have a right to carry a firearm in public, not just on your own property, not just in your own business, not just on your own home. You can carry a firearm in public for lawful purposes, subject to the state level restrictions that are in place. But again, in half of America, They have constitutional carry now. There is no there's no permits. There's no fees. There's no begging the government, kissing their ass. You can carry a gun to defend yourself just because. And this is happening right now, guys, because of the work of AFA members all across the country, our state level affiliates all across the country. An awful lot going on right now, guys. But this is a big victory for the Second Amendment. Thank you guys for your support of AFA. And again, we're getting a lot of questions right now on what's going to happen with the red flag bill in D.C. Again, we'll be answering those later on today. We're going to have a live update from Patrick Parsons, who's been in the Capitol all day working on this. And we'll have more on that later on tonight. People are asking, so what does this mean to a premise permit holder? Is it change, or how do we apply for it in New York City? This is Angel Lugo asking right now. So, Angel, there's a lot that has to be digested now at the state level in light of this decision. Obviously, you're in New York State. As you probably know, maybe you don't know, Governor Hochul has already threatened to have a special session in Albany to pass new restrictions in light of this decision today. That may happen. That may not happen. We'll wait and see about that. But it's not done until we see how the states interact with this. If they go, if they still maintain a tyrannical grip on gun owners, they'll go back to court again. So this is not going to be an immediate open carry situation for people in New York State. That's for sure. But their heavy hand permit, their permissions-based or needs-based permit, that's gone. That's gone. The court's made that very clear. And so it may very well become more of a shall issue situation in these 6 states plus the District of Columbia. That may be the outcome of this, but it's going to take some time. So be cautious, be careful. If you're in New York City, especially, wait to get some more clarity from us and other people on this, because this is not a done deal as of this moment. Mel Weingartner Jr., dude, you're clueless, boomer. Get online, Google, and just wait and look and see what NRA has been doing to gun owners for all this time, especially the last month in Washington, D.C. You're a nut. Guys, I'm not sure what time we're going live again tonight. It will be later on today. I'm not sure quite what time. Be watching your Facebook feed. We'll have more information for you guys. Anita asks, how about New Jersey? Yeah, guys, the list of states that this directly it's a national implications, but the 6 states that have this current needs-based permit system is California, Hawaii, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and D.C. And so these 6 states plus D.C. are going to be directly impacted by this, and it's a great deal. One last comment. James says, I saw my Wyoming senator on Fox News, and she was a strong no vote on the new gun control bill. James, I just want to make sure you know that just last week, Cynthia Lummis was telling CNN that she would be a yes vote on red flag laws. And Wyoming gun owners went to battle with her on social media, by email, by direct mail, pummeling her with angry calls and emails from WIGO members all across the state of Wyoming. So, yeah, she's on the right side now, but don't give her any credit, man, because she was pushed. She was pushed here. Okay, one last question, and we're going to bounce. People are saying, please give us a brief recap. I'll do that for you. SCOTUS ruled earlier today that the idea of a may issue permit system, which is based on special needs, is unconstitutional, and it violates the Second Amendment. So New York State, these blue states, California, Maryland, New Jersey, Rhode Island, D.C., areas like this, where you have to show a special need to have a carry permit, that is now considered unconstitutional in light of this decision. So all of those states that have these current regimes in place, it's gone. They're gone. They're going to have to rewrite their state laws in light of the SCOTUS opinion earlier today. That's number one. Number two, they said that you have an absolute inherent right to carry firearms in public. The Heller decision in 2008 limited where you can carry to your private property. So you have an individual right to keep and bear arms, but they limited it to your private property. Not anymore. Today's decision says that right extends to all public property that you have a right to be in. A fantastic decision. And finally, it gave a framework. This is Justice, let's see here, Thomas gave a framework on how future states can interact with this decision. He said, let me find this here. He said, when the Second Amendment's plain text covers an individual's conduct, the Constitution presumptively protects that conduct. The government then must justify its regulation of your gun rights, in other words, by demonstrating that it is consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation. So any other state down the road, any other legislature down the road that's trying to find a way to pass state-level gun control, it better, by goodness, be in keeping with the Second Amendment, be in keeping with these decisions, or it too will be held unconstitutional, guys. Huge, huge victory from this. Julianne says, dismantle the Sullivan Act next. Julianne, they talked all about the Sullivan Act in the decision. That's what this did. It nullified, it effectively destroyed the implications of the Sullivan Act. Very, very good stuff today. Let's see, guys. That's what we have time for right now. Much more coming tonight. Bad stuff happening right now in Washington, D.C. Anita English, before you join the NRA, understand the NRA are the ones drafting the gun control bill right now in Washington, D.C. The NRA are the ones who are supporting red flag gun seizure laws. The NRA are the ones who are not downgrading their bullshit A-plus ratings on Republicans who are stabbing us in the back right now. So that would be a big mistake to join them. They have done nothing but destroy the trust of gun owners and take your money and do nothing to help fight back against gun control. That would be a disaster. Guys, that's what we have time for right now. Share our video. Join the fight for freedom today at joinafa.org. Joinafa.org. We have a copy here somewhere. Here's a picture of our current membership t-shirt and decal. Get involved in this fight for freedom, guys. It's raging. It's raging in D.C., at the state level, at the courts. We're all over it, guys. Join that fight today. Joinafa.org. Anita English, no, you should not. All right, guys, I got to bounce. Have a great afternoon. We'll be back with more content